Hey guys, today we are going to talk a little bit about baseball in the Dominican Republic and why this game is so important for this country. So my name is Jose Alfonso Peralta. I am an ILAC program coordinator here in the Dominican Republic. And as everything in life, we need to talk a little bit about history. The history of the baseball in the Dominican Republic uh, is due to two origins, and actually the first one is related to cricket. Back in mid 19th century, we have a settlement of English colonies in the south part of the country, and they brought with them the cricket. The cricket is not 100% as baseball, but it's very similar. So that is the reason why it's considered one of the origin. Now, the cricket is not famous here. A lot of like most of the people don't even know about that. They know that there's a game similar to baseball and all the stuff, but actually we don't play that here. But in that time, it was a reality. So also the second origin and the most reliable one, it was during the 10 years war of Cuba. So actually, because of that war in 1870s, a lot of Cuba moved here to the country, especially to a city called San Pedro de Macorís, which, by the way, is the second one producing baseball in the country after the capital Santo Domingo. And also, that city has their own professional baseball team. Uh, then in 1907, we found the Tigres del Licey baseball team, and that was the first professional or official baseball team. We had a few more in the country, but they were more small, non-official, like not registered in the country. So that makes then the oldest one, because actually we had that team in our league, Tigres del Licey, and after their foundation, uh, they stayed like almost 20 years without without beaten by another team. Actually, in 1930s, we found our second official baseball team, and it was Leones del Escogido or Trujillo teams. And what happened with that? Escogido means the chosen one, and the reason why they create that team is because a lot of baseball players that weren't in the Licey's team wants to beat them so bad, because nobody beat them by that time through almost 20 years. So they organized a meeting between a lot of baseball players in the country and also few ones international, and they try to build uh, a team with the best one in order to face the Tigres del Licey and finally win against them. So one of the reasons they has two names, Trujillo team, is because they need money. They needed money by that time. And they talked to the president. In order to accomplish that, they talked to the president and asked him for money in order to create that team. And the only request that the president Trujillo, by that time, also our worst dictator, asked them to put his last name on the team. So at the beginning, the idea was to make the chosen one, the Escogido team. But because they need the money from that president, they decide to change the name to Trujillo's team. And after his death, they change it back to Escogido. Actually, those teams are in the actually they are currently in the league. So they are the two oldest ones, especially the Tigres del Licey one. So talking a little bit about our league here, we have the Lidon on the left. Lidon means Liga Dominicana de Béisbol, and this is Dominican Baseball League, and it started in 1951. And actually, current we have 6 teams. Those teams are the most constant one. Besides that, in the past we had 18, sometimes 17, but most of the time these teams that are in the left column are the ones that always have been through the time, and also they stay most of the time with the same name and in the same city. We have seats. From those seats, 2 are in the north area, Águilas Cibaeñas, the yellow one, my team, the team of my city, for me the best one, obviously, and and also Gigantes del Cibao, which is the red one here. Then the other four are very close to this to the capital, Santo Domingo. Uh, and between all these teams, Águilas Cibaeñas and Tigres del Licey, the oldest one that I just mentioned, just mentioned, sorry, is the blue one. So they are like Yankees and Boston in USA. I think that even bigger the rivalry between them, because just between these two teams they have Águilas, the yellow one, has 22 championships, and also Tigres del Licey has 22 championships. And if you see the date of the creation of the league, that is a lot of championship between just two teams, and they are very like very paired. So that rivalry is very intense. It's like Yankee and Boston in the playoff. I don't know, 2004 when they got that famous championship. So also, I want to explain that this league is at the beginning was a summer league, but they stayed as a summer league just for 5 years after after the foundation. And the reason why they changed it is because in the summer there is the MLB season two. So in order to avoid cross with the calendar of the Major League Baseball season, they just put the Lidom in the winter. Here we don't have climate problems, like we don't have winter. The weather here is tropical. It's a tropical country, so the weather always stay the same. So you don't need to like to have a closed stadiums. We have always open stadium. This is one example of one of the stadium here. The capital one is Estadio Quisqueya, Quisqueya Stadium, and that makes this league very attractive because a lot of baseball players internationally, also Dominicans that are very good in the USA, like David Ortiz, Albert Pujols, Nelson Cruz, from USA, Josh Donaldson, Andrew Jones, Mark McGuire, Alex Rodriguez, all these famous baseball players have played here in the past. Because this is a league that if you spend 1 year injury or you just miss one Major League Baseball season because whatever reason, you say, "Oh, let me go to the Caribbean, let me go to DR and play in their league." This is a very intense league. It's a short league. It's in the winter, so I can be ready. I can be warm for the spring training of the next season. So in this league, you can find a lot of very good baseball player. You say, "Oh, this is just a winter league in the Caribbean country. How you can have so many baseball players that are good and they play in the majors?" That is one of the reasons, and also because the intensity of the games here, like the stadiums are very small. The average of a stadium, like the big, the stadium has more seats are Águilas Ibaeñas, and they have 18,000 seats. It's like very small compared to the USA ones, but the noise that we make here, the passion that we put, and the fans are very very intense. So actually, one stadium here is it can be worse than a normal stadium in USA, who has even more seats and more people in one game. So that is the concept of our league, and also the season is divided by three, and we have like a regular season and semifinals, and then the finals. The first two rounds, the regular season and the semifinals, we play it as a round robin. Round robin is that everybody plays against everybody. We are a small country. All the cities are very close together, so we don't have travel issues. So everybody plays against everybody. The second round is like that, and the final is just the best two. So that is the idea of our league. And also, we have another tournament just after our winter league. It's good to mention that it's not just the R that have a winter league. Venezuela has, Mexico, Puerto Rico, and Cuba has a winter league. So that is the reason why we create, like, why the Serie del Caribe, the main reason what does this tournament, Serie del Caribe or Caribbean Series, exist. It began in 1949, 2 years before our league. So it, the concept of this league is like, okay, we have a winter league in all the Caribbean countries. So what if we create a tournament, very short tournament, that we put the best thing of each league of each year, so we can have like like, I don't know, a mixed tournament between the best teams, and that can be very attractive. So uh, currently we have 6 countries that participate. Here in the logo we have 4: Venezuela, Dominican Republic, Mexico, and Puerto Rico. So these 14 are the most constant one. That is why the logo has those countries. But actually currently we have 6. We have also Colombia and Panama, and sometimes Cuba. It depends the political situation. That is the reason why those 4 are always very constant. And the last one who integrated to the tournament was DR, and it was in 1970, which is a little bit strange because you say, oh, they it took so long to DR to get in. But after we got in the Caribbean series, and through the history of the this tournament, we are the country who has more championship. Just Los Tigres del Licey has 10 Caribbean series, and as a country we have 21, which is the most by far. Next one is Puerto Rico, and if you can notice, we got late to the tournament, and besides that, we have a lot of championship, which is a very good. So that is about that. And also I want to mention a little bit importance and the contributions that we made to the MLB, the Dominicans made to the MLB. So in order to you to understand, uh, our island nation is roughly by 11 million of Dominicans, and our size is like, if you compare to Georgia, North Carolina, and Ohio, we are very similar geographically. So eh, besides that we are small, we have like just 11 million. We are the country who produce more baseball players after USA, which is just amazing. Eh, the reason why I'm going to explain in the next slide. So also statistically, we have 22% of all affiliated baseball players in 2018 came from the Dominican Republic. Affiliated baseball players are all the ones who has signed with one major league team. No matter if you are in minors, if you are in independent league, if you are in Japan, no. The people like the baseball players are signed by one baseball team is affiliated. So approximately they have 10,000 around the world, including USA. And from those 10,000, just 2,000 are Dominicans, which is a big number. And if you take that more deep, from every million of Dominican, almost 200, 191 players, 199 people from that million are baseball players. If you compare that to USA and you take 1 million of USA citizens, just 15 are baseball players as a like are baseball players, sorry, which is huge. This is a huge difference. And also I want to mention that last year we broke a record, and it was like we were the country besides USA that has more baseball player in the opening day roster with 10%. The average of baseball players that are playing in the opening day is close to 1,000. So from that 1,000, 110 are from Dominican Republic, which is the biggest country producing baseball player for the MLB. And something that is not here in the slide is that we are the only country in the world who has at least, not just one, at least one baseball academy from each team of MLB. If you compare that with another country, Venezuela has a lot of politics issue with USA, so they have few academy over there in Venezuela. Cuba don't have academies also for the same reason. Puerto Rico, you say, oh, Puerto Rico is affiliate, is like is associated with USA. Why they don't have all the school of every, like why they don't have one school of every baseball team? And it's because Puerto Rico is even smaller with less people. So that is one reason. So we are the only country in the world who has that, who has an academy of each team. In the photo of the left, we call that the Dominican Blue Jay. It was the record from most Dominican in just one starting lineup for one day. And it was 7. that day. It was the Blue Toronto Blue Jay. It was in 2014, and that was just amazing to see if to see the lineup and see seven Dominican baseball players. So why this game is so important for the country? Why we are so passionate about that? So I try to grab it down most of the word that are related to that. And for me, the first three, hope, opportunities, and future, are the key. If you live in a country that you don't have schools, you don't have the best hospital, you don't have resources, you barely have food on the table, and some of them don't have, eh, and your whole family has the same problem. So the only way that you can go, like the only way that you can be more successful is baseball. You say, well, why you can have another job, or you can have no, outside of the city. When you are a kid, the only thing that you can do to help your family and yourself is to go on a baseball field and try to be a baseball player, because everybody knows here that around the whole country we have a lot of scouts watching kids to get the sign and to get big bonus, like trying to get them big bonus so they can be a professional baseball player. So one way is to do it like that. It has been always like that. That is why it's part of our tradition and our passion. And in order to get a better life and to be more successful, that is technical the one of the only way that we have here in the country, especially in the areas outside of the city, which has the more poverty between in the country. So this is a typical family here in the lower part. You can see the conditions, and also in the upper one, this is something that for me is tradition. Is plantain is one of the favorite Dominican food. When they smash plantain, they make mango. So we said that the mango is the food that give us power playing baseball. So that is a symbol for us. That is tradition for us. That mango power is the phrase for that. And you can see all the baseball players. They are all in the majors, or they were all in the majors by that time, uh, holding the plantain as a symbol, like we are Dominicans and we have the mango power. And believe, because all your family are waiting, or have the hope that you reach the mayors and can help not just the family, the community, not just your brother, your sister. You can see in this picture, it can be, it is also your grandma, your cousin, like everybody relied on that. So for me, that is the reason why it's so important here, the baseball. And why we have so much potential. This is one of my favorite part, and it's very easy. The first one, lack of condition. Sometimes the people don't understand that. But if you spend 10 years, 12 years, 50, 20 years playing baseball in a place like the photo on the left and in the middle, the day that you reach a baseball field like in USA or in the academy after you get signed, like this photo on the right, you are gonna be a magician with your hands. It's impossible to make mistakes in the field. If you spend your whole life playing without shoes, with bad bats, with a field with that condition, sometimes they don't have glove and they use carton glove. I'm gonna put an imagine of that. Uh, and if you catch 4 or 5 year balls with a carton, you can imagine when you get a normal glove, you're gonna be the best one in the field. That is for me the main reason. Also, the hungry for a better life. The same as I explained before. Is everybody is waiting for you. If you are the only way to get out of the poverty, the day that you play baseball, you're gonna play it with 200% of intensity. That is why a lot of times, I like so many times in the news, I see like they are giving opinion about why the Dominicans play with so much intense intensity. Why? What is the reason? That it's the only way that they have to get a better life. They don't have school opportunity or university opportunity. When they go, if they go to the university, they don't necessarily have a job opportunities. So here we have lack of those things, and the only way to do it is through baseball. So when you have the opportunity to play baseball, you are gonna be like you want to kill, you want to kill the league. So that is one reason why we are so good and why we put so much heart on the field, because a lot of is in that moment for you. So, and it's the only opportunity that you have. And I explained that with the second sport that is growing a lot here, and it's the football, soccer. It's very easy here. The kids that play football soccer are the ones, are the kids from the rich class. So I can explain that. I can also compare that with USA. If you take yourself and you think, okay, I'm going to high school, then I have the opportunity to go to school, to the college, and after I finish, I'm gonna apply for a job, and it's very easy to find a job. So if I like to play baseball, if I play baseball for 3 years and then got ankle injury, I can quit baseball. I can continue with my school or with my college. That is not a big deal. I can have my dad and my mom who's going to support me. But here, the kids don't have that opportunity. Sometimes they need to support their dad when they play baseball. That's the reason why they play, to help their family. So here is or that or nothing. So that is a reason too. And we don't, not much, also not much interest in other sports. That is very true. Dominicans has one quality: when they like something, they are straight to that, and they don't look to the side, so they don't look to the other sport. Yes, we have basketball, we have volleyball, yes, that is true, but nothing is compared like baseball. And the last one, very important one too, is a lot of support of MLB. They invest a lot here. They have a lot of schools here, at least one of each team. And that is the opposite to other countries. Cuba, the politics with USA are not they are not the best friends, so they don't invest then. Venezuela is another country that love baseball, have a lot of people, it's a big country, but also have the same issue. You say, well, you have Jamaica. No, they don't play baseball, they just run, sprint. That is their sport. Puerto Rico, the sport is baseball. Yeah, but they're very small. So here is the place that the MLB love to invest. Also, to explain better all that I just said, I just pick one success story, and the guy that I picked, the baseball player that I picked was Ira Pujol because of his accomplish. So I'm going to talk a little bit about his about who is him and why I pick him. And this very easy: his history, his achievements, his actions inside and outside the baseball field, and his influence not just in the Dominican Republic, helping communities uh, and his family also in USA community. So that is for me the best example of a normal baseball player that reached the majors and help others through baseball. So reason why baseball players are here considered like a heroes for the nation. So in order to talk a little bit about him, uh, he was born in January 16 in 1980. Um, in Santo Domingo, the capital of the country. In his childhood, while he was growing up, he has a lot of issues as a poor family, has a lot of financial problems with their dads. So he was a very poor guy. And reason why he migrated to New York. And also, I want to mention that he always explained in his interviews that he was the typical guy in Dominican Republic that used at the beginning of his childhood a glove like this one, a carton glove. And I just mentioned that. That is why you will see that he won two Golden Glove awards in his professional career. So also his dad was has alcoholic problems, and that was one of the reasons why he moved to New York. After he moved to New York, he decided to change to move again, but to Missouri. And over there, he entered to the high school and started his high school baseball career. Over there, he has a lot of baseball struggles, which I mm, always like to mention that because in Dominicans we have some problems when we go to play international, and is that they said that we have age problems, like we put less years that actually we had, and also steroids, drugs accusations. So Pujols was in the center of that, and his biggest issue he always mentioned is the age. Like nobody believed that he has 12 by the time that he has 12. So that was always a problem for him, and it's something that I always want to mention because the people don't know that baseball player go through that process too. Um, Also, his family is a Christian family. He has 5 kids and one wife, De, Deidre, and Isabella, his first girl, is a Down syndrome girl, and that is the reason why he create the Pujol Family Foundation in 2005. So actually, before we talk about that foundation, we're gonna mention few of his awards. He plays in the major. He This one is his last season. He mentioned this year, and is his number 21. 11 with St. Louis and 10 with Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. He also won 3 times the MVP award for the National League, which is the best player overall in that league. We have 2 leagues, American League and the National League. Also, he was Rookie of the Year, and he was unanimously voted in 2001, which was his first year. 2 times the Hank Aaron Award. That is award who is given to the best hitter in their league. Just hitter, no most valuable, not like defense and hitting. Roberto Clemente Award is a very important one, 2008. That is award for the baseball player in that year that helped more the communities and the staff of the team. Like outside of the field, he was very helpful to everybody and organized a lot of uh, like creates organizations to help the poor, to help the community, etc. So also Sport Illustrated Player of the Decade, and 2 times the Golf Glove Award is the best defense players in his position. He's a first baseman. Now he's designated hitter, but most of his time was a first baseman player. 10 times All Star and 6 times Silver Slugger Award. That is award for the best hitter in a specific position. He was 6 times the best hitter as a first baseman. That is the idea of that award. So those are few of his achievements are very good for me. The best Dominican baseball player in my opinion. And the last and more important uh, for me is the Albert Pujols' influence in the Dominican and American community. His foundation, as I told you, is Pujol Family Foundation, and is a nonprofit dedicated to their commitment to faith, family, and others. This organization, I like this organization a lot because it's very similar to what we do here in ILAC, and as a member of Jesuit university, that is something that we support a lot, and is very similar to our ideas in Creighton and all the Jesuit schools. So his part in USA is to help Down syndrome kids and their families, and the same foundation in DR helps poor community to bring like by raising money for their health, education, sanitary. So right now he has a project which is called Congracia with Thankful, and it's a project that raises money for a community, a very typical community that we had in our country that has a lot of lack of resources. And I'm going to put that video just 4 minutes, and that is the last part of the presentation. So here we go.
The Dominican Republic, a land full of untamed natural beauty, oceanside beaches and resorts, a virtual paradise. But hidden away through these beautiful locations, through the fields of sugarcane, live an unwanted people, a forgotten people who struggle to live day to day in a small village. The people living in these villages, called bates, struggle for many reasons: lack of resources, difficult living conditions, poor health, and few work opportunities. Bate Aliman is a home to such people. While most are content to overlook this village and the loving, hard-working people who call it home, we are working to let them be seen. Understanding this village takes more than simply meeting the needs of the community at large. It requires understanding the families that make up the community and the individuals that make up the family. With a concentration on these three main areas: community, family, and individual, great change is possible. By creating opportunities for those who previously had few, the village can be transformed and provided with what it needs most: hope. Children are among the most vulnerable in these villages, and many lack the basics, including nutritional food. Others suffer from health needs that the local clinic can't possibly provide for, requiring costly medicines or surgeries. Many children have to share beds with several siblings, and some have no bed at all. Even education can be a concern. Older children dreaming of attending university are often unable to make their dreams a reality on their own. Without food, water, healthcare, or proper living conditions, they are set up for failure. The solution cannot be found without first looking into their family dynamic and home environment and the community they are a part of. Several single households are unable to work due to the necessity of staying home to care for their children. As a result, they are unable to adequately provide for their family. Many other adults are suffering from debilitating circumstances such as sickness, accidents, or work-related injuries, and cannot afford the cost of treatment or medication. This leaves both the children and the adults powerless, and without work, education, or health care, they are hopelessly stuck in a spiral of poverty. Living conditions for many in the village are poor, consisting of only rusty shacks. Mosquitoes and other rodents can enter through the rotten wooden doors, and water pours in unceasingly through the rusted tin walls and ceilings during the rainy seasons. Many of these poorly constructed houses are occupied by families who have little or no chance of home ownership. They are completely at the mercy of others. But in community, there is strength. Together, these individuals and families can find purpose, faith, and significance. Community is not just the place you live. It's a sense of connectedness and unity. It's what makes a house a home, a neighbor, a friend, what allows a village to not simply survive, but to thrive. But it requires investment through education, sanitation, mentorship, healthcare, and nutrition. We can help transform a village from the inside out. Hope is found in community. Communities supporting communities. Families for families. People serving people. This is Con Gracia.
So that was the end. If you have any questions, suggestions, reactions, I will be more than happy to answer them. This is my email, and the last picture is just to say thank you for your time, and to explain that picture that was in 2013 is one of my favorite picture related to baseball, and it's when we won the World Classic Baseball in that year. It was our first and the only one that we already had, and it it is the only team and the first one who accomplished that to win that championship unanimously. So, like in vitro, sorry. So, thank you for the time again.